So this is interesting. So this first question's about another place that two white people probably shouldn't have much to say on, but it is on how on countries like Sri Lanka that have a socialist history that are succumbing to neoliberalism and ethno-nationalism, and if we have thoughts on that.
We can pretty clearly say that ethno-nationalism is bad, generally. Neoliberalism almost always bad, although sometimes it can be the lesser evil. Sometimes, oftentimes it is bad.
Yeah, the idea of a country succumbing to neoliberalism or ethno-nationalism sounds like Sri Lanka is going through what every country on earth is going through.
Yes.
Like, I can't think of a country right now where the political poles are not moving directly towards neoliberalism versus ethno-nationalism. I would say this is a better question to ask, like Luna Oi or American Johnson, because Vietnam is having a similar type of situation go on. And I did a video a little while back where I interviewed American Johnson about sort of talking about the how to jive with Marxist-Leninists and how do we, reconcile the sort of checkered past of some socialist movements to move forward in a positive way. And we had a good discussion. It didn't have anything to do with the video, so it didn't get into the video, but it was about basically how Vietnam has all of these political issues, but the fact that neoliberalism and ethno-nationalism are starting to move into that discussion.
I had the very similar thoughts. Like I also had like Vietnam on the mind thinking about this question, and yeah.
But this is definitely a thing. A lot of the times, like, they're succumbing to neoliberalism comes from the fact that a lot of socialist countries like Sri Lanka are post-colonial nations. And a sort of way to recolonize post-colonial nations was to put them under the heel of very brutal development loans, usually from the International Monetary Fund or the World Bank.
Yeah.
And
you can develop your nations and build big cities, but only if you set up your laws in a very specific way and also pay very specific debt payments in a weird way that don't go away.
And so you end up with these countries where these institutions are kind of installed into place by like very pro-market, right-wing governments. And then, once those institutions are in place, then the leaders tend to come from the stock of people who believe in that system. And typically the reaction against that, can be socialism, or, as we've seen, sometimes a reaction against the brutality of neoliberal capitalism goes towards the ethno-nationalist direction. And so it's the same thing that's happening everywhere else, essentially. That we just circled back to a long way of saying it's the same thing that's happening in virtually every country at this moment.
Yeah, but as you say, I feel like someone who's like based in, for example, either in places like Sri Lanka or Vietnam, as you mentioned, would probably be better talking about that.
Sri Lankan government used the 2004 tsunami as an excuse to get rid of all the ancient fishing communities on their beaches. They were like, it's not safe for you guys, go home, and then built hotels on the land. Oh, boy. That definitely feels like a developing world neoliberalism move right there.